It's over to you. Bye-bye. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, looks like they're still trying to cross over some guests there. As you can see, there's a bit of coordinating going on there. But this is really a start of what we are hoping to do in many of the different municipalities and provinces here in South Africa, is hold these authorities to account and make sure that they can answer to these questions. Because a lot of the times they do things, but they're never answerable to them. And so now we're putting them on the spot, and the Naledi local municipality is the first of these municipalities and the leaders that we'll put in the spotlight to answer some of these questions. And it really has been one of those municipalities that has been plagued by a lot of corruption and the misuse of public funds. And this is where we get some answers, hopefully. But let me quickly go back. Only a couple of minutes left of the broadcast. Bye-bye from us.
And welcome back to the Naledi local municipality in the Ruth Mompati district in the Northwest Province. And we've heard from Scopa, we've spoken to the district, we've spoken to some of the political leadership here in this particular municipality. We're going to hear now from members of the community, also from Labour represented in this particular council. But I'm going to start off with Mr. Abakwe Mutonzi, who's a community activist. So just give us a sense of what you feel about the municipality here. And of course, if you want to broaden it to the province, feel free to do so.
Okay, no, thanks, ma'am. Let me start by greeting the listeners. Service delivery is a product of efficiency and competency. And what we see from the municipality level is a lack of innovation, lack of competency. You will look to the district municipality on issue of VBS. There's a document that is called the DORA. And that document, it clearly says that the district municipality cannot invest the money that is meant for revenues, the conditional grant. But the district municipality, without even assessing or doing risk assessment, because when we invest the money, you must have the risk assessment that is done from all the banks that are within South Africa and are legal. But because the district lack knowledge, competency and monitoring, they have invested the money of the district, and the consequences of that investment is that there is no water in Naledi municipality, there is no infrastructural development, there are potholes, there are lack of service deliveries, and they cannot, as the council, be able to also stimulate job creation. As one of the speakers said, that the Naledi municipality as part of the district, it's one of the hub and the strategic location that can be able to stimulate and then create job creation, even with the issue of sewer spillage, with the issue of a dirty environment. You can go to the renewable energy and use that to stimulate that. But because the council lack competency, lack innovation, they cannot tap into those strategic economic creation.
Mr. Matonzi, the mayor says that people of Huhudi are not paying for services. So that is something that needs to be rectified. What's your take on that?
Yes, because the issue is service, payment of services as community. Yes, we encourage that service, but the service is a product of stimulated economic environment. Now, the municipality is not tapping into the loopholes that it created, which is the issue of dirtiness. We have got a regional bulk service that is erected here in Naledi for renewable energy, but because of the incompetency of the council, it's not taking advantage to create job creation so that the community members can be able to pay those.
But you agree in principle that people should pay for services?
Yes, people should pay services when the environment enables that, when there is economic stimulative from the council point of view, because they've got that ability to create that environment that allows that.
Okay, Ms. Micha, let's hear from you with regard to what's happening here, and we're going to hear from Labour shortly because they also have their own issues. But we have a situation here whereby the service providers like Eskom, like the water authorities, they are owed billions of rands by municipalities across the country, and this province is no different. What's your take on that?
Sakina, we note the challenge of service delivery that is facing our communities in Naledi local municipality. But we must also indicate and thank the mayor that he has been going all out to engage the communities. Where there's a situation of non-payment of services, obviously you will have those kind of challenges that you have in terms of your ESCOM and your water boards that is there. And we also must thank our communities that in the engagements that they have been having with the mayor of Naledi local municipality, there's a commitment to start paying for services so that then we come to address the challenges that they are facing in general. What we must also further indicate is that there's no amount of an excuse of our district municipality to have invested on your VBS. And we are saying as the ANC, consequence management would have to happen. Where we are sitting as the African National Congress, we know that the municipal manager was suspended, and we also note that there's an upliftment of the suspension thereof. And the leadership of that municipality will have to explain what happened. Though we hear of 150 million rand invested, we know that there's 49 million rand that can't be accounted for. And as the ANC, we are saying there's got to be an accountability and there's got to be an action taken thereof.
But Ms. Micha, you're saying all the right things. The problem is we're not seeing the consequences of what you are saying, because as you say, someone was suspended, the suspension was lifted, and this is the only action that was taken in this regard. How many months on? So at what point does the ANC draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough? People now need to be held accountable, and not just in word but in action.
Sakina, you will hear very soon on what the ANC has done in this matter, because we had zoomed in on the assessment of municipalities, including this municipality. And the ANC will very soon announce the action that is going to take. We'll remember that it will be very much important to get to understand what happened, and people would have explained to the ANC on what has happened. Now, having had those reports, the ANC had a meeting and took a decision on what is going to happen. I can indicate to you that very soon, and not later than the end of this week, you will hear now the pronouncement of the ANC in terms of those matters.
And just with regard to the audit outcomes and the regression in that regard, what does the ANC have to say about that? Because these are ANC-led municipalities that are totally run down and not a single clean audit outcome.
Indeed, we note that, and we are very seriously concerned about that matter. And hence, we had a governance summit, which was very successful, where we were looking at what has gone wrong and how best to improve the situation moving forward. At the same time, we are saying the leadership of those municipalities, of all municipalities in the Northwest, would really have to come out and lead those municipalities, ensure that administration do what is supposed to be done. They must play their oversight role and ensure that we improve the situation of the municipalities in the Northwest.
Well, at this point, I just want to say goodbye to our SABC2 viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Live today. And this broadcast will continue on SABC News Channel, moving on into the agenda, of course, with Desiree Chauke. And Blaine Herman is also out on one of a similar type of broadcast in the Free State. We'll come to that, but right now we're still focusing on the Northwest Province. And of course, we're in the Naledi local municipality in the Ruth Mompati district. So moving on, speaking to some of the people who've come out here today just to dig down and delve into the issues bedeviling this particular province, and also looking at some of the challenges in terms of governance that this particular province is faced with. And speaking now to Labour as we go on to SAMU, wanting to hear from them. We heard earlier from the mayor when he spoke about a strike that was led here, but then of course saying that it was amicably resolved. But what is your take on what is happening in the municipality?
Thank you very much, Sakina. I think all of us must agree that in the province, in the entire province, we don't have municipalities. Our municipalities have been collapsed. We've got lack of service delivery as labor unions. And most of the issues that affect workers are maladministration in the municipality, corruption, non-payment of third parties. In this municipality that we are in now, Naledi local municipality are owing workers, third parties from 2017 up until to date. and nothing has been taken upon the shoulder of the municipality. And as labourers, we must reflect whether we like it or not. Tools of trade to the communities or to the workers are a problem because regulation 32 of MFA has been abused, so that tenders must be regarded as flaws in terms of that regulation. But all of us must agree. ANC-led government has put other municipality under administration, but it does not yield result that workers or community are engaging upon those issues, because others are abusing intervention in the process of terms of reference and other issues.
So what's going to change the situation?
No, we become members of the institution. We're also members of community. So service delivery in the process is affecting workers in the process. So we believe that from audit report of 2017 and 2018, most of the municipalities are not efficient or not dealing with issues of compliance in terms of audit report. And like the mayors have been said about issues of VBS directly to Dr. Ruth Khomuti District Municipality. It's an open secret that those 150 million have affected on issues of service delivery and water processes, because that money was meant to service delivery, not for individual to benefit out of that money, because in our view, individually have benefited from that money, and ANC must take decision and hardly decision towards consequences management. But as the union, both Imatu and SAMU, from this interview, we are going to go straight to the police station and open criminal cases against affected parties. Because someone must account.
Parties?
Either the municipality or the municipal manager. Someone must account for that money.
All right. And that's Vincent Dipoko from SAMU. Let's move on to Caesar Tabi from Imatu. So the two of you, I take it, have come together in that decision to actually make sure that there are consequences for the mismanagement, malfeasance and corruption that has taken place here.
Thanks, Sakina. Imatu are an independent trade union. We don't affiliate to any federation or any political party. We haven't taken an official position as Imatu to partner with someone regarding what my learned friend has already said. However, I can clearly say that there is no labor peace between the employer and the employee across many municipalities in the province. And the proof of that is that there was a meeting that was called by the Provincial Bargaining Council. It's either early this year or late last year, whereby the concerns were that there are many issues, matters that are being referred to bargaining council, whereby they can easily be resolved internally. Hence, I say that there's no labor peace between the trade unions and the employer. And we have picked up that in many instances, political interference could be the reason. However, as Imatu, we are trying to stay clear of politics and try to play by the book.
What do you mean by political interference, and just how does that affect situations?
Unfortunately, because I'm in a public space, there are information that I have that I cannot divulge here. It could be that it is confidential, so it puts me in a corner whereby I cannot divulge that kind of information, unfortunately. My learned friend here has already spoken about the third parties which are not being paid by the employer, in particular in these municipalities, whereby the Pension Fund Act Section 13A clearly states that the pension contributions from the employer must be paid after the 7 days or by the end of the month, from the start of the beginning of the month, which ultimately the act states that if that is not done, that constitute a criminal offense, which in this case accounting officers, which are the municipal managers, should be able to account for that. But as IMATU, we are always trying to reach consensus with the employer by writing and engaging with the municipal managers to say that let's reach the common ground and advance good governance, which will ultimately be able to provide service delivery to our communities. Lastly, the bite on the VBS, that because we know that Dr. Ruth Sekgomotsi District Municipality is one of the municipalities that is invested more money than any other municipalities in the province. Our concern is that that shouldn't compromise employees' salary and the third parties of contributions of the employees.
Okay, how do you feel about the fact that to date, nobody has been arrested, nobody has really been held accountable for that?
That is bad, that is sad, because it clearly shows that there is lack of consequence management. But as a trade union, our hands are tied. We are expecting that good governance must unfold, the right structures like the council, the office of the MECs, because at the end of the day, if the municipality does not really advance good governance, we might end up the national or the provincial treasury holding on to the trenches that they need to release to the municipalities, and employees are bound to be compromised as far as doing their job and their salaries being held back, like instances in Bujanala and Western municipalities.
Well, unfortunately, that is already the case, isn't it? Because the municipalities, the majority of them already under administration, and therefore, you know, it speaks to a very sad state of affairs of municipalities in the Northwest Province, and this Naledi local municipality, I suppose, a microcosm of what is going on province-wide. But I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back here on the agenda with you, Desiree, we're going to speak to some of the members of the community who have come out and get the sense from them about how they feel about everything that has happened, not just in this municipality, but they can tell us how they feel about the provincial picture as well. But first, let's take a break.